Excellent. Okay, so let's start working. So today we're going to do a card. It's a card because it's the size, but it's a small project of watercolor, and I like to do it. So what I put my paper and I start using my blue tape. There is a specific tape that watercolor artists use, but it's really expensive. And not really expensive, it is expensive. And as I have all this blue tape, until I will finish this, I'm not going to invest more money in that. So here I start taping my paper just to go ahead, a little ahead from you guys. So I want to show you what I do is I divided my tape in a halfway. So I'm going to just take and I have part of the tape inside the paper and the another one outside. Okay? And I'm going to be doing the same. So be sure that your tape is really placed and you don't have bubbles in between, okay, of air. So now today we're going to be using a product that it calls masking fluid. White mask. This is a liquid fluid that we as an artist we use to protect the paper. That means wherever I add the liquid mask and I paint, and then if I paint and I introduce the watercolor to the paper, nothing is going to be inside these areas. When the watercolor is dry, then I'm going to rub with my finger and this is going to come out and then it's going to show up the background white paper that is here. So I hope this makes sense. So the way that you are going to be using this product is with a brush. So whatever brush you decide to use with this product need to be used for that, like a specific. It need to be used for it because whatever brush you use is going to be damaged. This product is so heavy that all the brushes get like, if you don't take care after you using it, you're going to ruin your brush. So the way that I work with the masking fluid is you have a regular old soap, hand soap, whatever. So you need to wet your brush with clean water and you need to start rubbing it, more water, let me put it close to you guys, to make a little foam, and the foam need to be covering all the bristles of your brush, like this. Can you see this? When your bristles are protected, then be careful, you don't need to shake this product because then you're going to create bubbles. So the way that we make this product is gentle. You need to move it like that. And then you are going to take your brush and start applying the liquid whatever the areas that you want to protect in the future. When the liquid is applied, you need to wait at least 20 minutes to start working the watercolor. Here you will see that it's already dry because if I touch it, I don't have nothing in my fingers, see? So this is my lake, my frozen lake. This is a little of the snow banks, that's how you call it, right? Banks. And I'm going to add some sky here and some trees. But if you are asking how I'm going to be doing my pines, so I'm going to show you something. Here you can see I already start like working, kind of knowing where should I be going through. And I want to share with you how to paint some trees. Okay, this is our color palette that we're going to be using, but most of the colors, I have a different watercolors. I start with the superior one that, remember guys, somebody sent it to me, and then I moved with a Winsor & Newton, and then I was working with these very inexpensive paintings. So, but what I learned this hour is that any of the brands that you can be working on, the important colors that we're going to be using is sienna, or it can be your burnt sienna, your dark blue, and your light blue. The rest is an extra one, but I will be sharing with you, okay? So now, these are my brushes that I'm going to be using. So this brush is going to be to wet the paper, and all these brushes are going to be using to do the paint, okay? So now I want to share with you how to do a tree. So I'm going to again zoom in, and let me have a seat. So what I'm going to have is my brush. Oh, before starting this, it's important, guys, to have 2 water containers, okay, of water. One is going to be for you to clean your brush, and the second one is when you need to add a clean water. So I totally recommend you to have all the time 2 water containers. And what I told my students is, if the water is not clear enough that a fish can live inside that water, I think it's time for you to change it, okay? So I'm going to be showing you how to do this tree. I'm going to, when you hear this noise, it's because I am cleaning my brush, okay? So I am cleaning my brush and adding clean water, and I'm adding, just because I want to share how to do it, black, what is this color? Brown, with a little of green to do let me see if you can see this. So I'm adding some brown with green and a touch of blue. So there are 2 ways to work watercolor, and I have been sharing with you this each time that we're together. The first one is dry paper with wet brush. They call it wet with dry. The second one is you wet first the paper with clean water. You see, this is a clean water. And then you wet your brush, add your paint, and you add color. This is how we call wet paper with wet paint. If this makes sense to you guys? So let's move now. Now to do to paint a tree, a pine tree, what we're going to be working is number 1, dry paper with wet brush. So wet your brush, add some paint, and you are going to add a line. Barely I'm touching my paper, and you're going to add this line where if you can see is broken. My line is broken. This is going to be the main trunk of my pine. Good, Chris. I'm glad I'm talking clear and you guys are understanding me. So now you are going to add very soft, starting in the bottom of your tree. You're going to add like the lines of your branches who are inside the pine. So what I want you to imagine is there is an imaginary triangle here. You don't need to do these dots. I want you to believe or think that there is a triangle here. So everything needs to happen inside the triangle. So I'm going to add more branches And the branches need to be from the large one that is in the bottom to the tiny one that is in the top, okay? So let me add some branches, okay? And let me add more paint. Let me add more paint. So what we're going to start adding now is the leaves. So I am loading my brush, and what you're going to be doing, I want you to still working dry paper with wet brush. I want you to go around your branches, doing dots, 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 all around the branches, dots, okay? Back and forth. Don't worry about how it's going to be looking. Just keep moving back and forth. I'm adding more color. I need more water. Just adding dots, dots, dots all around your branches. Then you are going to start building in between the branches. So I want you to do some tiny branches in between, but this time I want you to do just dots in between the branches, some dots. In this point, I want you to go around your trunk. And now, here, you can start adding as many little dots in between. Then you need to wait to get dry. As soon as it's dry, the first layer, you can start adding more color. And let me dry it. Give me 1 second. You can do it, you can keep working here, wet with wet, but I want to do the second layer of this tree with a dry paper. Wait, give me 1 second. Okay, I want to share this with you. And the painting that we're going to be working today here, did you see, is the same idea we just work, but with blue. Okay, so the same we did here, I'm going to be doing here. In the background, these trees are the same, but the difference is that it's wet paper with wet. And then I wait to get dry, and then I add these trees when the paper is totally wet. Okay, so let me keep showing you how to build the tree. So now that it's dry, and how you know it's dry, again, just touch it, and if your hand is clean, so it's ready to keep moving. So clean your brush again with water, take out the excess of the water, and decide which color you want to work with. So I'm going to mix brown with green and water. Brown with green and water. See? Working with watercolor is about the amount of water you are using in the time that you are mixing your colors, or in the time that you're wetting your paper. People and students ask me, how much water do I need to add? Time will tell you. The experience is going to teach you. There is no a specific formula that I can give you for you, but something that I can tell you is that never work your project. You need to have a piece of paper beside your project, just to check if there is the correct color, and if you need to change or to move more water or less water. Okay, so I will share later with you. Okay, now that I have the green that I was looking for, now I can start building inside the branches. So you don't want to cover all the the leaves and the branches who are in the background. You want to see some of them, but also you want to add the new color in front. So do not cover the holes, the white holes, because we want to see through the leaves and the branches. So I'm adding some color here and there. This is the way I work my trees. Let me add more water here, more color. Okay. Do you have a question? You can keep adding as many colors as you want. All depend if your tree is, I don't know, is winter or is fall, is spring. So we can here add some like orangey in between. Maybe it's fall. The trees start changing. Maybe you wanna add just a straight green in some areas. You keep adding the colors, but remember, you don't want to cover everything. You want to see all the colors that you are adding. And this is the way I make trees or pine trees. Okay, so now guys, it's time to move. We are going to start doing our card, and the first part of the process of the card is working this background. Okay, so now we're going to wet this part. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to use a big brush like this one, and I'm going to add clean water to this area. We don't want a swimming pool here, but we want to wet the complete area. Okay, so when it's ready, I want you to touch your light blue. I have this light blue here ready. So I wet my brush and I am touching the color, and I am bringing the blue color to my brush. And now in the top part of your painting, I want you to introduce the color. If you see, I am not rubbing, going back to the color, I am going down. Okay, so now you want to introduce the next color. I'm going to be using. So I clean my brush, I take out the excess of the water, I load the brush with clean water, and I'm going to introduce the color to the paint. And I'm leaving it alone. Now I'm cleaning my brush again. I am cleaning and take out the excess of the water to be sure it's clean. And I'm going to move to the next color that is going to be my sienna. So I'm adding some water to my brush and making this soup. That's why you call it the soup. When you have enough, so I'm going to be touching here. Okay, now I'm going to be adding to my brown that I have here, or sienna. I'm going to touch some of my blue, and I'm going to make this interesting gray color, brownish, nice. Okay, and I want to go and touch the bottom, doing zigzag. Okay. And now I'm going to dry my first part of the painting. So I'm going to be using this. Okay, give me 1 sec. Okay, now we're going to move to the next one. So we're going to go and create some of the background trees that are here in the back. Need to be like blended. The trees who are close to you need to be more clear. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to be using again this color. Okay, so I'm going to clean my brush and I'm going to add some of my magenta sienna with a lot of water. More water you use in the watercolor, more transparency your colors are going to be. So now I'm going to start doing my trees. Remember the trees that we learned before? So I'm going to be doing my trees now. Now I'm going to be using just a blue, my dark blue. So I'm cleaning my brush. I am adding clean water. I am touching the blue, dark blue that I have here with water because I want transparency. I don't want definition. More water, more transparent. That's what we want. And I'm going to start adding some shadows in the back as well. So what we're going to do again, with a flat brush or a big brush, you are going to use clean water, again, clean water, take out the excess. When I say take out the excess of the water, let me show you guys what I'm doing. This is my water. So I clean my brush and I do this. So I'm taking the excess of the water, okay? So now I'm going to add water here, but I'm going to leave some white, some white areas without water. Let me see if you can see. So I wet some, but I didn't wet the complete area, just some parts, because I want to leave some white color. So now I'm going to start reproducing the same that I did here. I'm going to do it here. So I'm going to go clean my brush, take out the excess of the water, touch the light blue, add clean water, okay? and I'm going to add some close to the shore. I want to add some the blue, and if you see here, wherever the watercolor is touching the where it's wet, look how it works beautiful. It makes its own lines. So I am just busy in the paper without feeling pressure, okay? But I'm not covering everything. Now you need to clean your brush, and we're going to add some of this yellow. So remember, it's not yellow, it's the ochre that we have. So I load my brush, and I am visiting some of the areas. Okay. And now I'm going to be using this brown that is our sepia, and I'm going to introduce the same, like a reflection. This need to be here. Oops, too much color, so don't worry. So what I do here, clean your brush and pick up the color. See? So I need to introduce same here, same here, and then some of the dark blue. Here we have too much, so let me pick up some of the color here. Okay, and I'm going to clean my brush. I need to add some of the blue, so I need to take some of this blue and show the blue here, because you know, here is blue, here is blue, more blue, here is blue, here is blue, and here is blue. Okay, close to the bank, we need to add a little intense blue before it gets dry. So I'm mixing these two blue and maybe a little of my black, just a little bit. Okay. Okay, now when we have this ready, so I want you to take a dry brush, very dry brush, and I want you to soft move left to right, clean, left to right, clean, left to right, clean, left to right, and then I want you to do this movement. Okay, in this point we have the background, the same reflection of the background. Now with your brush, let me find the correct one, sorry. With a dry tiny brush, I want you to wet your brush, okay, and we're going to peel the color. So we're going to revisit some lines, clean, touch it, clean. See how I'm picking some of the color? This is to make the reflection, to make feel like it's frozen. So I'm cleaning the color. And this, the only way that you can do it is when it's dry, is wet, because if you wait to get dry, then you cannot clean enough amount of paint. Okay, and you just, I'm playing a little bit with the lines, and we're going to leave now alone this apart. So let me dry it. Let's see. Okay, so this is still a little wet, so we can still working here. So now for the next trees that are going to be this blue, I'm going to be using this brush who has a long bristles that I want to be using as part of. So what we're going to be doing here is just the same we do before. So I have my dark blue. I'm going to add some water. I'm going to be using these two blues. And I'm going to start playing with the biggest tree. What about we want it to be bigger here? So I start adding my tree. You don't want a transparent tree. You want to have like very defined its branches because it's in the front. Okay, so you don't want to cover everything what is in the background, but you want him to be in the front. So let me add more color. And something that I like about the watercolor is that it gives you a surprises. Like sometimes I see like, oh, I didn't was expecting this, and it came. So don't be afraid of watercolor. Let me add more color. We want more definition here inside. So I am So let's add another one. So now we're ready to move forward. Here, if you want to add more effect of be frozen, the way that is going to be doing is again go back with your light orange or ochre, and with a lot of water I want you to add some soft lines. Just to give that effect. And then if you need more definition of in your trees, because you know we add these trees, so we need to add these trees. So bring sunlight like that. Remember, bring the dry brush and drag your painting. Dry brush and drag it. Okay. Maybe we need more space here because this is a big one, right? So now it's time to keep moving. Okay guys, so now with your finger you need to start like peeling the product, and the background is going to be showing up. See how cool is this, guys? And then the snowflakes, but I need to be sure that, yeah, it looks dry. So I'm peeling the snowflakes as well. See how cool? Let me look at this. Can you see the snowflakes? Look, that's cute, right? So the next we're going to be doing is the bangs. The bangs is going to be made by layers. I love it, Chris, right? It's like a watercolor give you these beautiful surprises if you allow the watercolor to work. And I have here more little dots. You need to feel with your finger, and if you feel a little like bump, you just need to peel it, okay? So now what we're going to do is the bangs, and the bangs are going to be first, we're going to use a light blue that we have here. So clean your brush, add clean water, touch your light blue with a lot of water. Let me show you, look how it's nothing, okay? And then we're going to start adding color. We want to protect the white, so you need to do like a zigzag here, and I see here it happened something, but don't worry because we can move it, see? So we want to leave a white line in between the pines and the banks. So I'm adding more blue, and the direction is the opposite. Here we're going to be doing the same. The direction is going to be, one is going to be like that, and the second one is going to be, see, I want to protect this white area. And now when it still is wet, we are going to use a little of our dark blue. So I'm touching the dark blue here with water, clean water, remember, my blue. And I'm going to be adding some, where I add the light blue, I want you to go back and just touch it and your right side where you add it, because you want to give more definition, but you don't want to cover what you already did. Okay, here is the opposite, is in your left, and you want to play, because it's like a part of the shadows, you know, you want to play a little bit here and there, just showing your color. Add more dark blue. Okay, and let me dry it. And here we can add more, clean your brush, add dark blue again, but this time with less water, and you are going to start adding these tiny spots just to to give more dimension to the snow. And here is in your right side of the bank, and here is in your left side. And remember just to play and do not feel like stress, like, oh, I need to do it perfectly. No. So with clean your brush with light blue with a lot of water to make it almost transparency. I want to add definition here. So I clean my brush and I am just adding a little of that light blue just to give a little of definition here and also here, okay, and here. I'm just playing. So now I'm going to be adding a dark blue. Clean your brush, dark blue, and I'm going to be adding more definition where the frozen lake is. And remember, bring your dry brush and touch it. And now I'm gonna share with you a beautiful trick. Okay, take a piece of paper and make like a circle, something like that, okay? Because it's winter, we need to have some like dry pieces of branches, right? So with your thin brush, let me look for my thinner brush. I think it's going to be this one. Yes. So with your thinner brush, you are going to add dry branches. So clean your brush, wet it a little bit, add black, and now find where you want your branches. So protect the back part of your paper like that, and start adding branches. And if you need more color, add more color. Okay, and then find another here, add black again, okay, and this is how I do these branches, because you want them to see like that are after the snow. And then if you want to define better, just come back and add more black in the bottom part. It makes the watercolor to work. Same here. So guys, what do you think? There are some colorists or watercolor artists, sorry, that they want to define more the frozen lake, and you can do it. So go back with your white, with a thin brush, add water to your white, but not a lot, because you want to have a paste, you know? And soft, add some white. It's not going to look like very thick, but it's going to give you the reflection that you're waiting for. Okay, so I think I finished it. So let me zoom in like that you guys can see more clear. This is what I came through. So when you're ready, let's start taking out the blue tape. Remember, when you need to take out the blue tape, do it diagonal, because you don't want to peel your paper, the cotton of your paper, okay? And do it slow. And because I use the dry thin, it's going to be more sticky, so I need to be more careful. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Chris. So if you follow the steps, feel free to do yours and share with me. And remember, everything is perfect. Just because you are doing it, it's perfect already. And own it. That's what I told my students. And if you have questions how to do it, feel free to send me a private message and we can work it together. So this is the watercolor